There we go. So you will be able to watch this. And if you had any coworkers or friends that you think might get something out of this, you will be able to share this. So thank you so much. And Lillian, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Shayna. Appreciate you giving us a great introduction. My role at Great Falls Development is threefold. I am one of the vice presidents at GFDA. I also work with the Brownfields program, and that has two aspects to it. We have a revolving loan fund, and also we have what's called an assessment grant. And then besides that, working on projects with that, we also work with a government contracting as part of our role. And then I manage the Great Falls Agritech Park. So I'm going to go ahead and get started this morning. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see. There we go. So can everybody here give us a thumbs up? If you have questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them at the end. So welcome to this presentation on small business certifications. And I'm here to kind of help you learn more about how certifications can help your business gain an edge in government contracting. Here is the overview of the agenda for today's training. We'll look at the importance of small business certifications, eligibility, which is the big picture, and the federal small business certifications, and then end with answering any questions you might have. The webinar today is kind of a big picture 101 level Introduction to Small Business Contracting Certifications. It covers the benefits of major certifications and key eligibility requirements. It is not a complete discussion of all requirements of these complicated programs, but for a deeper dive into a particular program, you can contact your local PTAC to schedule a training. Small businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy, and they play a vital role in the job creation, innovation, and community development. They also make up 99% of all employers and employ nearly half of the country's private sector workforce. If you're a small business owner, chances are you may have heard about government contracts and are wondering if that is something worth exploring or even attempting. One reason would be to get a piece of the pie expended by the government. This is what was spent by federal, state, and local agencies in fiscal year 2021, $1.1 trillion plus. So why does that small business certifications, why are they important? Federal agencies are given small business goals. The goals for federal agencies each year are 23% to small business, 5% of that to small disadvantaged businesses, 3% to service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, 5% to woman-owned small businesses, and 3% to historically underutilized business zones, or what we call hub zones. In 2021, the federal agencies exceeded some of these goals. 26% in small business contracts awarded may not seem like a lot, but 26% of 1.1 trillion is $286 billion. Also listed here are other awards to the other set-asides. The government works to accomplish these goals in two ways: by set-aside certifications versus full and open, and by sole source. Sole source is where a contract is awarded with no bids at all. Rules are attached, but it increases chances of winning a contract. These certifications are used by the entire federal government. It starts with small businesses, then these other set-asides are subcategories of small business. We will look at these each individually further along in the presentation. What is the importance for small business certifications? Access to more opportunities, less competition, including potential sole source contracts, getting noticed through the SBA's database, VA Vet Biz database, and state and local vendor databases, and also sought after by agencies and large prime contractors, and increased value to potential teaming partners. So small is the key for this eligibility. A company must be a small business. What defines a small business? They are organized for profit. Business is located in the United States. They make a significant contribution to the US economy and qualifies as small under appropriate size standards. So what do we mean by size standards? A size standards defines the largest a company can be to qualify as a small business for federal contracts. Size standards vary by industry, as designated by the North American Industry Classification Systems, or what we call NAICS codes. Size standards are based either on the company's average receipts or on its average number of employees. To find a list of size standards, here is the link. Be careful, just because a company qualifies as a small business for federal contracting purposes, does not mean it qualifies for state and local small business certifications, and vice versa. State and local governments often apply their own tests to determine whether a company is small. So, definition of a small business certification. A business self-certifies its small business status in the sam.gov database. There is no such thing as a small business certification. Size is based on the business's average annual receipts, like I said, or average employee count. Businesses must include all affiliations. If I am certifying my business in SAM and I have a relationship or ownership in another business, I have to also include the other business. FYI, this could potentially affect whether the business is small or not. Average revenues, employees are compared to size standards under whether NAICS code is listed in each federal contract opportunity or bid. If a business is bidding on or has been awarded a contract under a small business set-aside, anyone can challenge the self-certification that they are small, and then you would have to prove it. Let's look at 8A certifications. This is the first one. It's a formal disadvantaged small business certification awarded by the Small Business Administration. There is no self-certification. Application process. It's an intense application, but it's very powerful if you receive the 8A certification. It's a 9-year program term. There are no exceptions or extensions except for current participants who received the 10th year as a result of COVID-19 relief. If you have applied, you should have a plan in place because although 9 years seems like a long time, many businesses don't figure out its potential until they are in year 5 or 6. The value of this program is SBA really comes in and helps the business through this certification. So what are the qualifications to apply for this? You must be a small business. You must not have previously participated in the 8A program. You have to be at least 51% owned and controlled by US citizens who are socially and economically disadvantaged. Must have a personal net worth of 750,000 or less, adjusted gross income of 350,000 or less, and assets totaling 6 million or less. You have to demonstrate good character, and you have to demonstrate the potential for success, such as having been in business for 2 or more years. What does it mean if you are applying due to social disadvantage? Socially disadvantaged individuals are those who have been subject to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias within American society because of their identities as a member of a group and without regard to their individual qualities. The social disadvantage must stem from circumstances beyond their control. Members of some groups, Black Americans, for example, are presumed socially disadvantaged. Members of other groups, for example, Caucasian women, must demonstrate personal experiences of bias or discrimination. What is the definition of economically disadvantaged? You have to show 3 years average adjusted gross income per your IRS tax returns, and you must fall below 350,000. This excludes spouse's income, usually, income used to pay S Corp or LLC taxes or reinvested in companies are excluded. 3 years adjusted net worth must fall below 750,000. This excludes equity in primary residence, equity in 8A applicants, funds in most retirement accounts, and funds used to pay company taxes or reinvested. 3 years unadjusted net worth must fall below 6 million. What does it mean by potential for success? The company ordinarily must be in business in its primary industry for at least 2 full years immediately prior to the date of its 8A application. SBA will also consider the following items when deciding if the company has realistic possibilities for success in the 8A program. The first one is access to capital and credit. Second, technical and managerial experience of managers. Third is the record of past performance. Number 4 is whether the company has the necessary licenses. And 5th is business trends. For example, improving or declining revenues. As you can see, this is not for startups. Next is the WOSB and EDWOSB certifications. Here's the big picture. So woman-owned small business and economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. This is a formal certification awarded by the SBA. Self-certification for this program was eliminated in 2020. Application process for this is very detailed, but not as intense as the 8A. EDWOSBs are automatically woman-owned small businesses. The woman owners fall beneath certain net worth and income thresholds. You have unlimited potential during the program term. And woman-owned small business is a great certification. It no longer has a 2-year in business rule. Let's look at the qualifications for both of these certifications. I've put them side by side. So the woman-owned small business is you have to be a small business, be at least 51% owned and controlled by women who are US citizens, have women manage day-to-day operations who also make long-term decisions. The EDWOSB meets all the requirements of the woman-owned small business federal contracting program. Need to be owned and controlled by one or more women, each with a personal net worth less than $750,000. Be owned and controlled by one or more women, each with 350,000 or less in adjusted gross income averaged over the previous 3 years. And then be owned and controlled by one or more women, each 6 million or less in personal assets. Next is the VOSB, or the veteran-owned small business, and the service-disabled veteran-owned small business certification. This certification is a little funky. For non-VA contracts, this is a self-certification program. They self-certify in SAM.gov, just like the small business certifications. For VA contracts, service-disabled veteran-owned small business is a formal certification, or as the VA calls it, verification program. You need to plan ahead because as of October 24th, you no longer can apply through the VA's website. Effective January 1, 2023, this certification will be required for all contracts, and it will be through the not through the VA, but through SBA. The VA was required to give top priority to service-disabled veteran-owned small business and second highest priority to veteran-owned small businesses. For other agencies, the service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses are equal to the women-owned small business, the economically disadvantaged women-owned small business, 8A, and HubZone. VA only offers set-aside contracts and sole source contracts to veteran-owned small businesses. So let's look at the qualifications for each of these certifications. Since 2018, SBA and VA have largely followed the same qualifications and eligibility rules. An eligible service-disabled veteran-owned small business or veteran-owned small business must be at least 51% directly and unconditionally owned by veterans. They must be a small business, and for the VA only, they have to meet good character requirements. There is no net worth or income restrictions. So you're probably asking what controlled means. Well, right now, today, we don't have the time to go into this because I could spend another 20 minutes on just this. So if you want to know more information about that, you can contact your local PTAC. So at last, but not least, is the HubZone certification. The full name is Historically Underutilized Business Zone. All the other certifications are based on who you are. This one is based on where you are. A formal certification awarded by the SBA, that's who it's awarded by, and there is no self-certification. The application process is detailed and can be very intense in some cases. There's unlimited potential during the program term, but renewal is required at least at 1 year for recertification and 3-year full renewal. HubZone entitled to unique 10% price preference when bidding on unrestricted solicitations or non-set-aside contracts, like if you were bidding against a big business. So you would automatically get a 10% price preference. So the qualifications, you have to be at least 51% owned and controlled by US citizens, a community development corporation, an agricultural cooperative, an Alaskan Native corporation, a Native Hawaiian organization, or an Indian tribe. You have to have your principal office located in a HubZone and have at least 35% of your employees living in a HubZone. The primary office is defined as where most of the work is done, not necessarily the head office. The goal of this program is to promote economic activity in places based on the census statistics and that are economically depressed. That is the purpose for this certification. It's to encourage companies to move their businesses into these areas, encourage companies to hire people in these areas, and then it will encourage economic recovery in these historically underutilized business zones. So how do you find out where these zones are, or if you are in a HubZone? Here is the link. The SBA has this great tool, and every once in a while it has glitches, but overall it works pretty good. You can put in an address, and this tool will tell you if it's in a HubZone. You can also use it to tell if your employees live in a HubZone. Well, I know this is a lot of information, but right now, this is the end of my presentation. So if anybody has any questions, I'm going to stop sharing here. So Shayna, do we have any questions today?
Hi, Lillian. Thank you so much. There aren't any in the chat box. I don't know if anybody else that's on here now has any questions. We do have a few minutes. If you guys have anything specific about the business that you're in, your area, let us know. David, to answer your question, so we did just get one in the chat. We can absolutely send the recording out to you. And then Lillian, can we get the slide deck by chance to send out to viewers? Okay. Yep. So David, we will send that out to you. Does anybody else have any questions? I know it seems kind of a lot. And you guys will probably process through this, and this is kind of just the introduction. So Lillian really wanted you guys to have a better understanding of different certifications that are out there when it comes to government contracts. And we are planning to host this entire series throughout the next year. So we are going to keep to the same time each month. It's going to be your second Tuesday of each month from 11 to 11:30. We would love to have you guys hop on those. We will get that entire list out to you guys as well. So if there's specific certifications that you're looking for, specific questions, we might be able to answer those throughout the year for you guys. So
Yeah, it is a lot of information, and I tried to give a 50,000 foot view, which I know seems like, wow, it's a lot, but um, you may have to, watch it again, kind of look at, the qualifications and different things. And then if you have any questions or something just doesn't make sense, um, then I would go ahead and just reach out to either myself or Shayna.
Lillian, we did
And
get one more question from David. Do you or can you self-certify as a veteran-owned small business?
yes, I said you can certify as a VOSB, we call it veteran-owned small business, because if you are bidding on any contract that is not a VA contract, you can self-certify in SAM. The thing is that you may get challenged on that, but then basically what you would have to produce is your discharge papers showing that you are a veteran-owned small business. So as long as you have your discharge papers and you can prove that you are a veteran-owned small business, then the self-certification, you don't have to worry about proving that, and you can self-certify. If you are bidding on a VA contract, you would have to go through the self-certification process, and you can't do it through the VA anymore because that certification has closed. As of January 1, the SBA will have that up on their website. So they are working on that now, and you would have to go through the self-certification process, the verification process through the SBA. But if you're bidding on anything else, it would be self-certification. Now, the SBA may change that when they start it. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah.
Sorry if it was confusing.
Great question, David. And we can absolutely, I'll send out Lillian's email. I know she's been CC'd on this, but we can send out everything that was referenced today and the right people to talk to when it comes to your certifications. And yeah, hopefully, I know we are doing a sam.gov, how to navigate your sam.gov account in May, I think is our topic that month. So that'll also be one that you'll want to tune into because there are continual changes and they just went through a big one this last year. So it's a important topic when it comes to your certifications. All right. Well, any other last questions? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on. Lillian, thank you so much for being a wealth of knowledge and teaching us, really the high level information that goes into this. And I am looking forward to the rest of our series.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.